TGIF, as the Gen Zs would say, thank God it's Friday. The 13th day in the month of September 2024, the very last edition of From the Dailies for this week. Welcome to From the Dailies, right here on the Remedy Dial Solutions 93.9 FM, as we look through the front pages of our Nigerian newspapers, get a perspective on the trending stories with analysis and feedback from you as well. As you know, Fridays are usually open mic, so you get to react to stories that made the headlines throughout the week. I welcome you once again. My name is Victory Onyedikachi, and as always, I have Comrade Ayadeji Ajishokbe in the building. Good morning to you, sir.
Yeah, good morning to you. To the Muslim faithfuls, I say Barka Jimoh. And of course, to the boys and girls out there, I say thank God it's Friday.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Fridays are usually, times of refreshing. After, the working days, you use the Friday or the weekend rather to just unwind.
Who says in this business of ours?
Unfortunately. Anyway, be reminded that we're streaming live on Facebook as well as YouTube at Solutions 939 FM, so you can be a part of the conversation by using any of these mediums. In case you can't tune in via the radio, you can drop your comment on the live box, and we'll be sure to read that as the show progresses. I'll be taking stories from the Punch newspaper, the Nigerian Tribune, the Vanguard newspaper, and the Nation's newspaper this morning. Let's get right into it. All right, this morning we start off with the Punch newspaper. NNPC, Dangote Eye Crude Sale, product buy back deal. NNPC team to monitor production at refinery. I found this story very hilarious. I will give you a breakdown of the detail. You have your own refinery, but you want to have a stationary office at Dangote's refinery.
No, don't get it wrong. Don't get that wrong. There is the regulator.
Is NNPC that is the regulator? I think that's the question.
NNPC is not the regulator.
So why do you want an office at you want to monitor the production of Dangote's product?
If there is going to be a deal, you understand? Yeah, I think this is the reason. NNPC will be supplying a certain quantity of crude.
They have a stake as well in Dangote's.
What stake is it? 7%.
It's still a stake.
It's still a stake. But
let's not go into analysis now. Let's be done with the story. Tinubu governors and others mourn as Obokun. I hope I got that correct. Yes, joins his ancestors. Opposition fears violence as PDP shuns peace accord. INEC distributes final batch of PVCs today as poll holds next Saturday. ABASSLLAH panels sues for peace. More stories from the Punch newspaper this morning. PDP governors lose as NWC hands Wike Rivers control. Another interesting story
Very
there.
Interesting.
Blind mother missing. Kids found in Lagos after 10-month search. Recapitalization. Manufacturers, SMEs struggle as bank take over capital market. These are the stories on the front page of the Punch newspaper. And now over to the Nigerian Tribune. Nigeria signs partnership agreement with UK, gets 589 billion naira support. CBN directs service providers to commence POX transaction tracking. Shatima receives Odua Investment Management, says no going back on Nigeria's digital revolution. The biggest story on the Tribune paper reads 259 killed, over 1 million affected by flood in 29 states, NEMA. UN humanitarian agency allocates $6 billion for Borno, Adamawa and Yobe states. Aviation workers to shut down airport September the 18th. Rejects 50% IGR reduction. NUT warns federal government against unchecked commercialization of education in Nigeria. Federal government signs CTC agreements to reduce airline operating costs. Oyo bricklayers, shoemakers, hairdressers orders to pay taxes as Assembly passes presumptive tax bill into law.
That should be interesting.
Southwest states arrive at plan to action to tackle food shortage. Speaking, there's also a story about the federal government, getting over 100 billion US dollars from the creative industry. I think it's somewhat affiliated to this, from movies, from music.
Yeah.
Have you set up the structure?
Why is the federal? Why? You see, I don't. Why should it be government? Why should it be government?
We'll get right into that.
They're organized. You can supervise. You can, you can put the infrastructure. Government, all over the place. Super government.
Southwest states.
Bureaucrats there, and they ruin everything.
Southwest states arrive at plan to action to tackle food shortage. Edo APC 16 orders sign peace accord. PDP maintains stance, refuse to sign. These are the stories on the front page of the Tribune paper. And now to the nation's newspaper. 17 passengers missing as truck knocks bus into river at Ife. It's quite a sad story. 440 million naira contract probe. ICPC summons Kanu speaker. Orders. LP crisis. Umebak Sabure must go decision. Governors rally support for devastated Borno flood victims. These are the stories on the front page of the nation's newspaper. And finally, this morning to the Vanguard newspaper, FCDO letter, Nigeria signs deals with UK, gets 589 billion naira aid. Federal government signs CTC practice direction to reduce cost of airline operations. 48 million Nigerians still practice open defecation, UNICEF. 400 deported Nigerians arrive Abuja from UAE. Petrol price. NMPCL Dangote in gritty horse trading. Hawkers sell cheaper than fuel stations. That's coming from an investigative report. These are the stories we have on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper. And with that, it brings us to a wrap on highlighting the major stories that made the front pages from different national dailies. From now, we're going to be going in depth with analysis on these stories as Comrade Adeji will be giving us insights as we tackle different stories this morning. Remember that we're still live on Facebook as well as YouTube at Solutions 939 FM, so you can be a part of the conversation by joining in on that platform, as well as sending in messages via the studio line. The line is 0904 422 2939. And as it is customary with us, Fridays, open mic, we'll get to open the phone lines for you to react to stories that are of interest to you as we progress. Once again, it's great to have you join us in the studio. Good morning to you, Comrade Adeji, once again.
Yes, once more, good morning to you.
I mean, we've read a couple of interesting headlines, so we're going to start off with one of the major issues that we need to tackle as a people, as it disturbs, the rich and the poor. I hope it disturbs the rich anyway, but I think everyone is bedeviled with the fuel scarcity and skyrocketed prices, as it were, in this country. And whilst we're still waiting for Dangote and the FEC to reach a benchmark as it concerns the pricing for his product, which is supposed to happen in 2 days from now. Today is 13th. Yes, that should be agreed upon by the 15th. They're developing stories with that regard. Like we read from the headline, the NMPC requiring a stationary office. They have requested that 6 to about 10 of their staff be deployed to the Dangote refinery for daily supervision of the product, also requiring an office. We're also seeing that petrol marketers had complained to Tinubu that the diesel price at Dangote refinery is too cheap. That because of how cheap it is distorting their business. whilst we're talking about petrol, getting it at an affordable price, we're seeing that petrol marketers who in this term you want to call, NMPCL, as maybe other independent marketers will be joining in that regard, are complaining. They wrote to the president that it is, having a backfall at their business because it's too cheap.
Well, that is one side of the story. That has to do with the AGO, the one we call diesel. Now, we have not particularly. Well, we know it is true that when Dangote introduced his AGO into the market earlier this year, I think April or thereabout, it affected positively, so to say, the market. And I remember when he visited the president in Bodilon, the president actually further encouraged him to do something about the price of diesel, and they brought it further down, crashing in quote now, the price of diesel. I think I'm not sure the exact location of diesel now, maybe 1,000 naira or thereabouts.
Yes, it's about 1,000, maybe 20 naira, around that figure.
Now, you see, we should get one thing abundantly clear. The processes of producing AGO, the quality at the level of distillation when AGO comes out. You see, production of PMS is way more sophisticated than producing the one they call diesel. So apparently, the cost of PMS is going to be higher. There are additives, there are stuffs you have to add to get diesel to that quality in which it is. AGO is slow burning. PMS is for combustion engines, fast burning. That's why you put a drop of PMS on the floor, it virtually evaporates. And you put diesel, you find it there in another 1 week. Now, the cost of production of PMS the processes is way more sophisticated and costs more. So, I do not understand why anyone will be expecting the cost of PMS to be cheaper or at par with diesel. If anybody expects that, that is out of lack of knowledge.
I don't think that's the expectation. I think, like you said, there are two different stories here. I think the issue is why they are demanding or writing to the president with an appeal for Dangote to,
That's
restructure
why
his
I said
price.
that is one side of the story. We have not had the other side of the story. You see, it has been a back and forth. Just like you said, Dangote is also saying NNPC is demanding office space for 8 or 12 people. Yes, that is on the basis of the crude that
NNPC distributes to him.
Will be supplying them. That agreement is going to come into force, I think, this September, middle of September. Supply him crude. We have not even been told that an agreement has been reached on that. No agreement on Dangote wants. The fact is that Dangote knows that NNPC is still subsidizing the PMS we are buying. Even at 855 at NNPC, what do you call them? NNPC outlet, retail centers. It is still being subsidized. That is the reality. It is being imported and it is still being subsidized at 855 or 865 naira that we are getting it. It is still being subsidized by NNPC. So Dangote cannot compete. Dangote cannot compete. So if you want Dangote to come out now and say their own PMS is 1,100 naira, people will say, Dangote, you are wicked. You are wicked. They will not understand the fact that that NNPC is still subsidizing. And what is NNPC actually saying? NNPC said they're not going to be buying from Dangote if Dangote's price
sells higher
than the international
market.
What is the international market currently? There is no, even on West African coast, is there anyone selling for 1,200 on the West Coast? Some are selling 1,005. On this continent, some are selling at 1,800. In the United States, a gallon goes for how much? The United States. So we should $3, 3 point something, depending on where you're buying from. And if you multiply how many liters are in $3, how many liters are in 1 gallon, A gallon is about 3.7 liters. So if you pay, that is virtually paying $1 for a liter. So what are we talking about? And where are they going to get it cheaper? You understand? Where are they? Where will NNPC import cheaper? NNPC is still subsidizing at the current rate of 855, 865 naira. Dangote cannot compete. That's why Dangote is saying come and offtake. You understand? And pay me subsidy too.
Do you think this is why Dangote wants the FEC to determine his price? Since we have,
it's a hide and seek they are playing with the Nigerian populace that do not know the facts of the matter. It's hide and seek. Why would a man who invested 20 billion say government come and offtake? Why did you put government into the equation when you are building the refinery? Dangote's refinery can load 2,930,000 or 33,000 tankers, liters of tankers a day. 2,008 or 2,900 tankers that will take 33,000. It has that capacity. But NNPC is subsidizing. They can't tell us they're not subsidizing. We know that we have been told, and we know that the landing cost of PMS is 1,200, and it is determined by the exchange rate. The greatest undoing of the PMS or those products is the exchange rate. If dollar goes to 2,000 naira to $1 now, the landing cost will increase. The one Dangote is currently producing, where did you get the feedstock? Where did you get the crude oil from? Did you get it from NNPC? He didn't.
Well, he has said that since the NNPC are willing to sell to him in naira,
they have not started selling.
No, they had an agreement yesterday, of course.
An agreement, yes, to supply.
In naira, and he said he's willing to take in the loss because if he's going to go by the foreign exchange as to how he got his initial product, he's going to lose. But he said he's going to take in the loss and make that sacrifice as he can see that the people of this country are suffering. That's one man that has shown empathy. Even you think that's a mere statement?
No, you should not tell us cock and bull stories. He's a businessman. How much? Look, we're talking about 650,000 barrels per day. You know what I mean? Even if he doesn't do 650,000, if he does 500,000 barrels per day, I mean, he should not tell us cock and bull story that he's going to take in the loss. No.
I mean, he said that yesterday.
There are many other products that Dangote is going to be making money. He's already making money from, and I mean money, and in foreign exchange. You understand? So he should not tell us that. He has market for his good. Do you think Dangote is not going to be selling his PMS elsewhere?
Of course.
And foreign exchange. It is like look. The only thing that the NNPC cartel that he pointed out the other time, the only thing they want is for a continuous importation of, let the game just go on, let business go on, give the domestic crude, give it to them, let them go and do it, or even they just do deals. This one they call crude swap. Do you know the details? How many products come out of 1 barrel of crude oil? What are we getting in return? What are the transactions? Transparency, accountability. Nobody knows. Who owns NNPC? Ministry of Finance, and what do they call it? Ministry of Petroleum Resources. Who owns the Ministry of Finance? Who owns the Ministry of Petroleum Resources? The federal government. Who owns the federal government? Is it not you and I? Nigerian citizens? Yeah, we don't know what the details of these transactions are. It is. They just want the business. They just want the transactions to go on business as usual. Believe in me.
Well, we hope that whatever corruption and conspiracy that lies between the parties involved, we would get clarity, and the people of Nigeria would be given petrol at a very affordable price. I know Comrade has emphasized about the landing cost, so it's almost impossible as it is. But fingers crossed, maybe, just maybe, when they start selling to him in naira and Dangote keeps to his word of, bearing the sacrificial burden of losing out on his investment.
When they increased the pump price from 600 to 850, why didn't they look? They held a press conference. This chief financial officer of NNPC told us about 3 weeks ago that the landing cost of PMS is 1,200. So when they move the price, why did they move the price to 1,300? To cover their costs. After all, they're a limited liability company. Is that the way they're going to go to the public, to the stock exchange? A business that is saying, our owners say, we should come. Look, who's going to buy into that kind of business? Let Dangote do his business and sell his products wherever else. Let the saboteurs continue to do whatever they want to do.
Oh, well, let's come back home to Oyo State. Oyo bricklayers, shoemakers, hairdressers, orders to pay taxes as Assembly passes presumptive tax bill into law. And I did mention about a story that seemed similar to that. Federal government unveils plan to generate 100 billion US dollars from the creative economy. I mean, people are already suffering as it is, and now you want to impound, taxes on some of these minor businesses, these SMEs. We saw the other day where the minister came to say, oh, we're not increasing the tax from 7.5 to 10%. It's still 7.5. But now, VAT, thank you so much. I'm now just wondering, because even for the creative industry, one of our greatest exports in the creative industry in Nigeria is music, Afrobeat sound, that has generated, and movies, of course, Nollywood has generated millions and billions in Naira and in US dollars. But there has not been any structure set up by the government to help these people. So now that they're making money, you think it's okay to now get money off them?
You see, Hollywood, is it a government structure?
Not at all.
So Bollywood, is it a government structure?
Not at all.
For God's sake, we've been at this for long. Let them get their acts together. You see, if we're going to make a headway, if we are going to make a headway as a nation, we must unleash the other energy of the youth. 2-3 ways. Entertainment. And of course, entertainment is big industry. Sports.
Absolutely.
Sports, entertainment, and technology. That we have a population, 60-something% of our population is youthful. If you are going to cash in on that, I remember the president during his inaugural address said he had the youth of this country. He had them loud and clear. And what he meant by he had them loud and clear was that it was clear that the youth of this country did not particularly vote for him. They voted, let's put it bluntly, they were obedient. I recall that on the day of the election, when I got back to my street, you understand? I mean, after we left the studio, LP did not have accredited, agents. But there were youths there in Bodija monitoring. Even their parents and guardians, they were shocked at what the youths did. The energy, they were not paid, they were just doing what they believed in. That energy of the youth. If we're going to unlock and unleash it, it has to be sports. It has to be entertainment. And of course, it has to be tech. When we are not taking advantage of that energy in the tech, look at what they're doing with it. Negativity. Look at what they're doing. Just look at what they're doing in the tech space with the energy. And then government now wants to cash in. Government cannot cash in. Government is supposed to further, fund, structure, policy, laws. Not that you want to, cash in on that. Then you cannot tax. You cannot tax after providing the enabling environment. Not that government will now say, come. No. Enabling environment. Which taxes are they imposing in Oyo State?
For bricklayers, hairdressers.
What do they call it?
They call it a presumptive tax bill. It's still going through readings, of course.
Still going through readings. Well, you see, the informal sector, things have to be structured, you understand? Maybe they have associations. All these people have associations too. Just go through the associations, know their numbers, know what they're doing. There are small ones, there are medium scale ones, there are big ones. But
That's a wonderful breakdown. Yes.
But one thing is key to their business: power. You want to tax them. What services are you providing for them? Is there power? Where their shops are located? What infrastructure is available?
And all these businesses need power.
Do they have water? Where do they get water from? You just want to come and tax. Is the infrastructure in place to ease of doing their business?
Cost of production.
Yes, cost of production. No power. Imagine somebody having to run generator to run a salon now. To power your equipment. Because those equipment, you have to power them. Imagine. And then all you're thinking of is taxing, not providing them the enabling environment. I think we have to be more creative than that. But look, in this country, the informal economy employs probably, in fact, they constitute about 90-something, 80-something% of the economy informal. All those people you see on the Okado market, they are taxing them on a daily basis. Even if you are selling 500 naira, if you put 2,000 naira vegetable, they are taxing you.
Cow skin.
Every day they tax them. And then I don't understand. All these taxes, do they fall under the purview of the state or the local government? All this interference, all this grab by the state. That's another way of looking for money after losing the local government funds to the Supreme Court judgment. Because they must. That was free.
Find a way.
That was free. Free funds. Oyo was taking nothing less than 10, 12, 13 billion every month. Free funds. They even committed the local government. They even committed the local government to loans. Who pays that now? Who pays for that now? Loans for constructing roads and asking local governments to appear as if they're the ones constructing, and that it's so crazy.
Well. At the beginning of the show, comrade, you said to me, cheer up and be grateful that you're not in Borno. That might be pacifying for me, but for the people in that state, it's a devastating experience, and no citizen of this country deserves to be going through that. I think that we might not, or the people of Borno would not have been experiencing that if the proper structures, if the infrastructures were put in place to mitigate that flooding. Now we're seeing increase in numbers of casualties. Reporting from the Nigerian Tribune, 259 killed, over 1 million affected by flood in 29 states. That's a general analysis coming from NEMA. We're also seeing that the UN humanitarian agency have allocated $6 billion for Borno, Adamawa, and Yobe states. With floods, with devastating situations, we see fundings from different parts of the world coming into the country. But the question is, what are these fundings used for? We read yesterday that some people are sleeping in the streets, even though there are IDP camps. But if you go to those camps, you would be marveled. We've heard of reports where sexual abuse are being perpetrated there. We've also heard of reports where the terrorists, the bandits, are now using the IDP camps as their haven, their hideout. But we're getting funding that could be used to tackle all of this.
You see, it is so sad. What occurred in Borno is so sad. I can't remember where I was watching that yesterday. There was a man everywhere. I saw houses. Have you been to Borno? Have you been to
No,
Maiduguri?
I haven't.
The palace of the Shehu of Borno. I saw somebody on his rooftop cooking. And the water was just about a feet away from his rooftop. And, everywhere was just flooded. And of course, it was comforting to see the governor Everybody knows that Professor Zulum is a pragmatic man, and is an austere man that is everywhere. We know that on a number of occasions he almost lost his life, in the front lines, joining the troops and all of that. I saw him jumping down from the front seat of a military truck. The man was not, of course, he was in his boots and all of that, joining the operations, so that he won't sit in the comfort of his office and some people will be bringing some silly reports and asking for more funds. We have seen donations marked for the IDP camps, boldly packaged for them. We have seen them in the open market being sold. Open market. Stuff meant for the people in the IDP camps. Nigerians, I can assure you that no matter what the governor does, because the governor cannot act alone, he will be depending on people, his lieutenants. Do they share his passion? Do they share his passion for the people, for the development of the state? Do they share it? Or all they share is they share political office and they want to cash out? You understand? That is one thing about governance. You need to have the buy-in of the people you are leading. No leader in this country has the buy-in of the people. Nigerians don't think they are stakeholders in Nigeria because they look at the Nigerian leaders as, on the other side, it is we and against. It's even not we and them, it is we against them. So those people, it is so sad. But we hope that as much as the governor can do, get some people on his side who share his views. You see, I believe in one thing. If you're in a location, if you work hard, there will be returns. You understand? There will be gains. Some of these gains may not come immediately, you understand? The gains of office that this guy, Professor Zulum, has today. The man was not intending to be a governor, he was only a commissioner. And he was given an assignment, and he carried the assignment out so much so that the governor, the former governor, what is his name? Shettima. Shettima deliberately ordered an investigation. That how can a man be honest like this? You understand? How could a man be this honest? That was why Shettima identified him as a leader and chose him to succeed him. Not many Nigerian governors do that too. Not many Nigerian governors do that. He chose Shettima, chose him when he identified leadership qualities in him. Well, we do hope that all the stuff being donated will get to the people, because the governor alone cannot do it. He needs lieutenants that share his views, that shares his passion, for the people. Borno is already in a bad shape, you understand? Reconstruction going on everywhere. Reconstruction, massive reconstruction going on in spite of the ongoing devastation of the war. Now, this natural disaster. Was it preventable? Big question.
Indeed. Let's now move over to politics before we let the people be a part of the conversation. And we're going down to the South, River State particularly. The story here is PDP governors lose
just say South.
Yes.
Because Edo is blowing hot.
Indeed, actually. And that's true. We need to touch on Edo as well. But PDP governors lose as NWC hands Wike Rivers control. So even after the governors coming together to back Fubara, it looks as though Wike is having a field day with the National Working Committee, as they have endorsed him to still serve as, the leader of the PDP. And
they didn't endorse it, bro. So I think we should get it right.
The minister of the
that
federal
is the interpretation of the newspapers.
Well, we're going to go. That's the reports that we're getting.
Yeah.
So we'll have to.
That is an interpretation of what transpired.
Yes.
What actually transpired was that, the World National Working Committee endorsed the the state congresses that took place, which of course was anchored and instigated by, what do you call him, Wike. So if that's an endorsement of the leadership of Wike.
I mean, even with the threats that Wike made against, causing chaos in the states of different PDP governors.
No, he said he was going to put fire in there.
Is this chaos now? You're putting fire, you're not causing chaos. And you make such a bold statement, and
Wike is an abrasive, a man that has been a local government chairman. He was chief of staff. He was junior minister of education, governor 2 times, 8 years, a legal practitioner with a wife sitting as a judge of the Court of Appeal. He has shown a complete lack of decorum for any player in the public space. Not to talk of a man that has held several high offices in this land. That is Wike for you. That is the man. He doesn't have 2 faces. I love people like that. You understand? You see, when you're in the public space, you understand, you will have your public face and then you will have your private face. Wike does not have 2 faces. Wike has only one. Wike has only one face.
He says it as it is.
He says that it is abrasive. He doesn't polish anything. He just delivers it. I mean, these are fellow governors. Wike said he was going to put fire in their states. I like that.
But comrade, that shouldn't be a funny statement. It shouldn't be.
But you see, you know the man. It's better to know the man you're dealing with. You understand? The man has only one face and he's operating, and everybody knows. And I think the man has the capacity to put fire in their states. You see, there are people who will stab you at the back. The man is not stabbing nobody at the back, he's stabbing them frontally. And he's alerting them that I'm going to stab you, so get ready. Don't you like that kind of a man?
I don't. I don't like that kind of a man.
He's also operating in Edo. The Edo governor is complaining bitterly that the REC is
supporting.
Maybe a relation of Wike, and the commissioner of police is Wike's classmate. The Edo governor is battling for his life.
And that's why they've, held back on not signing the peace accord.
Yeah, I don't think that was nice anyway. I mean, that makes him stand out like a sore thumb. You see, it is now. You see, what do you call it? Obaseki is not a politician. Obaseki is a technocrat. You understand? And I can understand that Obaseki wants somebody that, you see, you will not bring somebody that does not share your vision. Oshiomhole himself brought Obaseki to succeed him because he believed in Obaseki. He actually told the electorate that it was Obaseki that was doing all that he was doing from behind, you understand? And this Ighodalo was in Obaseki's economic team, you understand? So, when he was going to lose political control of Obaseki, that they quarreled, you understand? So this man too is bringing somebody that shares his vision to succeed him. But you can't predict Edo people. You cannot predict Edo people. I can tell you that. You cannot predict Edo people. You cannot predict Edo elections. Edo can swing whichever way. Edo has been the one they call a swing state. Edo can be PDP. Edo can be Action Group. Edo can be APC. Edo goes the way they want. Any error on the part of the major players now, there are issues playing out. You understand? This guy is playing the victim now. Obaseki is playing the victim now. He played the victim successfully almost 4 years ago. It worked for him. We're playing the victim, but he has issues in Benin. You understand? With the Oba. You understand? All forces are galvanized against him. But the candidate of APC is not looking good at all. The candidate of APC is looking scandalous. I can't understand. It's looking scandalous. So scandalous that even the APC leaders are ashamed. Did you see Obaseki? What do you call it? Oshiomhole. Oshiomhole has been thoroughly embarrassed by the output of their candidate. But it is, You know, whether asset and liability, you push everything together. It's a candidate.
Well, let's just hope that, INEC is ready. The political parties are ready come next week, Saturday, because that's when that off-season election will happen.
Election rigging things that people talk about. The procedures are clear. What are you going to read? You have the beavers. They do accreditation. What are you going to read? What are you going to read?
We recorded irregularities with.
What do you mean by irregularities? Let's have it.
The numbers.
What numbers?
We saw a different report from what was counted. Those are irregularities.
No.
No.
Let's get this abundantly clear. This is the process. You take the beavers. They do accreditation. One thing is clear: the number of voters must never be higher than those accredited.
Did we see reports like that during
reports?
Yes, we
were those reports
like that.
Were they proven in the court of law?
Comrade, you know how the system works.
No. Were they? Did you see the Court of Appeal, the Presidential Election Petition Court? They were so angry with the PDP and especially Labour. They were not able to prove nothing. And there was so much. Look, you see, we must not just believe all these things that we have in this media space. All those ones you will read on social media. The one we read on social media.
No, not social media. I mean, both the newspaper took it up,
Were they proven in law court? You see, that was one major error that Labour committed. Major error. Elections are not run on the pages of newspaper or social media. Do you know that APC had a command center and they trained all their, agents, and they gave them specific instructions what to look out for at every polling station. The former governor of Lagos State, what's his name, was in charge of that command center. And as they were working at the, at the polling unit, they were sending feedback to the command headquarters and they were analyzing everything. So they were ready, battle ready. When people were telling Labour people they don't have structure, and people were saying we are the structure, did we see any structure at the end of the day? They will have learned lessons.
Oh, well.
And do you see what's still going on in Labour Party now? Aburi and the other faction. You understand?
Well, comrade, we would have to take a quick break right now. And when we return, Nigerians, it behoves you to lend your voice to the conversation with the different stories we've analyzed this morning. You're listening to From the Dailies. And when we return, the phone lines will be open, as well as taking in some messages that you've sent across our different social media platforms. To call into the studio and express your thoughts regarding the state of the nation, the number is 0912-222-2939. 0912-222-2939. Do stay with us.
Love amazing Nigerian movies. Action! Laugh out loud comedy skits. Or gripping shows and series. Serve yourself all the drama, passion, betrayal, action, and laughs on YouTube with the YouTube Buffet plan from MTN. Enjoy over 10 hours of YouTube streaming for just 500 Naira and over 4 hours for 200 Naira. Dial *312*800 hash to activate now. YouTube, made for you. If you love amazing Nigerian movies, action! Laugh out loud comedy skits.
Guys, you need to check your NIN status. I cannot say this enough because the next batch of barring will start again soon. I know some of us have submitted our NIN multiple times, but your NIN has not been linked to your lines either because your picture on MTN portal might be different from the one on NIMC portal, or you got married and changed your name, or another person registered your line for you when you bought it, or you mistakenly used a wrong date of birth, and many other reasons. But don't worry, MTN has made it easier to link your NIN in just 2 minutes from the comfort of your home, office, or while you are on the move, just like me. No need to visit the MTN office and join the queue. If you use a smartphone, you can visit nin.mtn.ng or dial *996*4# on your MTN line. Just follow the instructions and you are done in under 2 minutes. Remember, barring will start again very soon. Link your NIN to avoid stories that touch.
say I know they forget anything, no. Because this market where I come so, I suppose buy everything where I need. Bread. No, I go buy that one near house.
Yay! Yale bread has come!
Yale bread, give me 5, oh.
Give me 5. Wait it be this? Yale bread. Hey, them package am well, oh. I wonder how we go dey taste, sha.
My sister, this bread now bang taste together. I dey always buy Yale bread, especially Yale family bread. That one is perfect for my family and e no cost at all.
In fact, na wonderment I dey.
Yale bread na the bread wey hands not dey touch till e reach your table. Assurance dey say na correct bread wey you dey shop. You fit find am anywhere.
And me, I like say the size of the Yale family bread, they always belle for me.
Yale family bread is sweet. Chicken money bread wey hand not dey touch. The bread for your family. Yale bread.
I can't seem to find the right event center for this party.
What's the problem? You sound so worried.
I've been searching for a venue that can handle both the formal ceremony and the casual after party. Nothing seems to fit both moods.
Have you heard of Aweni Arena Event Center?
Aweni Arena? What makes them so special?
They are the perfect blend of elegance and comfort. Their venue is versatile, has the perfect space, event managers, and security for every occasion. And they'll work with you to create the perfect setting for every part of your event.
Wow, this is perfect. Aweni Arena really nailed it.
Yes, they did. Visit us at 116 Obafemi Awolowo Way, Iyano Liberty, Okado, Ibadan, or call 0809-360-7888 or 0706-899-4970 to book your event today. Aweni Arena Event Center is where your event finds its perfect feet.
News, sports, entertainment. Top 100 music on your Remedy Radio dial. Solutions 93.9.
Do not touch that dial.
All right, welcome back. You're still tuned in to the Remedy Dial Solutions 93.9. My name is Victor Nyedikachi, and I've been having quite an extensive conversation with Comrade Ayodija Jishokbe. We've been talking about a plethora of, issues affecting our dear nation, Nigeria, and he's brought some very interesting insight and perspective to these stories. Just to give you a quick rundown, we spoke about the election, that is off-season election set to happen in Edo State come next week Saturday. We also talked about the NWC handing over, or perhaps Comrade said it wasn't an endorsement, the leadership of the PDP to Wike. So Wike is currently having a field day as against the camp of the PDP governors and the sitting governor of Rivers State, Siminalayi Fubara. We talked about Oyo State Assembly passing a presumptive tax bill on hairdressers, shoemakers, and other creatives. We've seen the story before. I think sometime in 2021 there was a report in that regard, and I think it's going through several readings, and maybe it's going to become a law. So prepare yourself if you're a tax person. But as Comrade said, have they provided the right infrastructure to demand such taxes? Do we have power? Do we have water and other utilities that would justify the action of the federal government? Or as the federal government has decided that they want to generate $100 billion from creative industry. Now I'm talking music, Hollywood, etc., fashion designers, whatnot. Have they done what is needed to be done or implemented for these people to have an environment to thrive with their business, such that they can, put taxes that would cut their throats, for lack of a better way of saying this?
Yeah, still talking about PDP and Wike and the governors. You see, most of the members of the current National Working Committee of the PDP, they were facilitated into office by Wike. Wike had a grand plan, and look, when Atiku lost, or was it okay? when Atiku walked away from the party many years ago. It was Wike that sustained that party. And then you grab you so to say, snatched the ticket. A ticket that was meant to come to the southern part of it. Look, any serious man will fight it beyond just ensuring that Atiku lost. You will have to ensure that Atiku will not dare make even a comeback in any form or shape. Man, you got to give it to Wike. You got to give it. You don't have to like his style. Not that I like Wike's style, but man,
politics
it to Wike.
shouldn't be sentimental, comrade.
Sentimental?
Yes, Wike was being sentimental. I'm just
Sentimental?
hypothetically.
What do you mean sentimental?
Let's say that Atiku had the best interests of Nigerians at heart, but because Wike thinks that it should have come to the South. Power should have been given.
Not
to the
South. You see, there's an unspoken, and it was actually PDP that led in that direction. Rotational presidency. They not does
actually
that it was PDP. So why would the PDP now start toying with that?
revolting on their
They
decision.
toyed with it and paid dearly for it. And tragically, I was shocked that an Atiku, a grandmaster, Atiku was brought in as vice president because he held the political platform of Yaradua in his hands. That was the only reason. And it was that political platform of Yaradua that Obasanjo rode on to the presidency. Atiku did not wait for his time. Atiku should have. You see, when Obasanjo did 4 years, then they started. Atiku's guys in the presidency, then they started floating what they call the Mandela option. Mandela did one time. Obasanjo to come in from jail, should do one time and act like the states were. Obasanjo is not Mandela now.
Right.
And they dealt him mortal blows. You know. So that was too much. If he had waited, Atiku would have won that election, hands down. But you see, and when he won the ticket, the man went and sat in Dubai. It was like he was under a spell.
Oluwaseun Road says, good morning. It seems this APC-led federal government does not have any ideas again in putting an ending to this full scarcity of a thing, because this scarcity has really affected many average Nigerians with no hope in sight that it will end soon. I will employ all state governors to rise up to the occasion of relieving their people from the fuel scarcity, like the subsidized Omituntun buses we have here in Oyo State and that of Lagos. Well, commendable, you say.
The Omituntun buses? Well, I see a few of them. How many do we have? You see, and then the other day I saw one of those buses parked, obstructing traffic because there are no bus stops. You drive from Challenge.
I think that's the major challenge we have. Establishing those bus stops.
What do you need? Look, Challenge to Molete to Okeado to do. Do you think, I've asked them in the Ministry of Works, will a pupil engineer, will it design a highway from Molete to Ojo without bus stops? What happened to the design? Will that design pass a scrutiny in the Ministry of Works? Highways? Will the director of highways, if a pupil engineer designs highway from Molete to Ojo in the city of Ibadan, major traffic hubs, Molete here, no bus stops. Mokola, no bus stops. Sango, no bus stop. Ojo, maybe. No bus stops even in Ojo. Will the director of highways approve a design by a pupil engineer?
Well, comrade. We'll have to keep talking about these things until we right the wrongs.
And then the road traffic people will be there trying to apprehend them for parking. I mean, where would they park in space?
Oh, thank you so much, comrade.
Thank
you so much for your in-depth analysis this morning as we bring from the dailies for this week to a wrap. Of course, we're going to return next week with more, stories as we report as they're being reported on the front pages of the Nigerian newspaper. Thank you so much once again for
My
being here.
pleasure always, Victory. Have a wonderful weekend. God bless you.
You as well. Yeah. All right, so before we draw the curtains on from the dailies this morning, I do have an announcement to make. Over the past week, I have dropped subtle hints on the Muse Monday and Trendy Tuesday show, but today it's time to officially make the declaration. The last 3 years at Solutions FM has been nothing short of extraordinary for me. Working here has been really pivotal in my broadcasting journey, filled with unforgettable moments of creativity, collaboration, and shared success. I've had the privilege of, being a part of something truly remarkable since its inception, if I dare say so myself. However, as the saying goes, to everything there is a season, and today marks my final day at the Remedy Dial. It's with deep gratitude that I want to thank you so much for sharing your time, energy, and loyalty with me. Whether it was on the Muse Monday show, the Trendy Tuesday show, on Solutions Clinic, from the dailies as we just concluded, the news bulletin, and every other show that I have anchored here. I want to say thank you for your support because it made it worthwhile. And this is not goodbye, but this is see you, somewhere, anywhere, because of course, the radio richness will always be with you. My name is Victor Onyedikachi, but as you know me, I'm Vic Riches, and I'm officially signing out of the building. But always remember that I would always love you.
If I should stay, I would only be in your way, so I'll go, but I know I'll think of you